already starting off with a weird energy because I've literally just got over crying watching Pitch Perfect 2. Like, the
Wow.
ending gets me every time.
I've not seen it.
Yeah, it was on like ITV2 or something. I can't really help myself when those kind of films are on. It's like my guilty pleasure, like Pitch Perfect. And like, did you ever watch any of the Step Up films?
No, I did. I did not. I remember them being a
They-
thing.
They are lit. See the first one, Channing Tatum. It's so good. Anyway,
What a smoke show he is. I do get what you're saying though. Like, when you see like actual films on like council telly, you're like, oh well, I'm gonna sit and watch this. You know, you could have went and watched that film yourself, but because it was on the telly, you're like, well, that's my night sorted.
it's like, doesn't matter how many times I have watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. It's on ITV3. So I'll
Oh
watch it.
my god, my dad has been going on about how he's recorded it like 16,000 times. He's recorded it on his telly and he's like, oh well, I can download it on my phone and I can watch it on there. And I'm like, Harry boy, why? You've got a DVD player and the DVDs. Why are you so bored about it being on the telly and on your phone? Oh, he's a madman. I love him, but he's a madman.
But that's the thing though, is they were brought up in that like old school way of doing things.
Yeah.
So like just the simplest thing, the things that we would find simple, like streaming on your phone and shit, is like
Yeah, my
amazing.
dad was like
being
my
able to
dad was
record on the
perplexed.
TV.
My dad was perplexed by pen and paper because he was so used to like just chipping it into stone for such a long time.
That is the original Egyptian hieroglyphics.
That's
What
easy
is
for
it?
you to say. Aye.
No. Anyway, hello, welcome to episode 6 of Dead End Friends podcast. It is Dead End Friends, or what is it you like to call it just now?
Dead End Friends After Dark, which is, you know, saucy.
It's still not even dark yet.
Man, look outside. Yes, it is.
Nah, I can still see things. So, anyway, we're doing this a little bit later than we would usually do. So my energy is a lot lower. All of my family are sleeping, so I'm obviously not going to be screaming at the top of my lungs like I usually do. But anyway, my name is Craig Jimison, and with me, as always, is
Gary Gordon.
my fucking man. But yeah,
My man.
going back to my first kind of point I was saying, there are just those kind of films out there that it doesn't matter how many times you've seen it, if it's on, you'll sit and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, I find that with like some of the shittiest films of all time. Like, for some reason one of them is any of the Pitch Perfect films. I don't know why. There's just something about them that I just love. And see if it's either the first or second Fast and Furious film. Oh, sign me up. I don't know why. I just
Yeah,
have this
I'll-
weird...
And if they're on the telly, they're longer because you got like adverts to factor in as well. So like an hour and a half movie becomes like 3 hours. But you sit there,
Yeah.
you'll watch it, you'll no complain. It'll be fine.
There's like a whole event. Like, your whole evening's taken up by a 90-minute flick. And I'm into it. But like... But then I'll look at films. I have so many films. I'm so bad for this. Like, on Amazon Prime, I have so many of them just like sitting ready to watch, and I already know I never will watch them. I've just got them sitting in like my watch list, and I'm just like, I will at some point, hopefully. But I've already kind of agreed or like accepted the fact that I will never watch these films.
Well-
like, see, basically every film you've told me to watch, I will never watch them.
But then it's the same for me because I have only seen about 5 films. Like, maybe. And people tell me to watch things all... Like, I'm pretty sure I asked Duncan for a list of, like, must-see films. I've asked Richie that I work with for, like, a list of, like, must-see films. They're the same list, essentially. But
Yeah.
it's just not going to happen. I don't know what it is about I do know what it is about films. And people laugh at me when I tell them this. I have a commitment issue with films. You know?
It's not just films.
No, it is just films. Because my commitment issue is that I want to commit. You know? I want to commit too much to the film. So if I watch it and I'm not enjoying it right away, my brain won't let me turn it off just in case it gets good.
Right.
But then if I watch the entire film and it's absolutely garbage, I will be
You're let down.
so mad at myself for not just turning it off. This is why I just don't do it, because it takes me a long time to sit down and go, right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I've got my snacks, I've got the telly, I've got the buzzer. I'm all ready to go. You know?
The buzzer.
The
It's
fucking
the buzzer.
the remote, just in case it gets loud. Because I feel like, you know, your telly does that sometimes. You're watching things and you think you've got it at like a nice, responsible level, and then all of a sudden there's a gunfight, and you're actually in Vietnam. Like, you're having flashbacks. So like, I've got that just in case.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's.
but
Yeah,
it
I mean,
takes me too
I'm
much.
the same. Like I've actually just rolled up. I had a guy that I used to work with did the same for me, and he gave me like a massive list. I'm going to show you. Like, obviously, people listening to it will not be able to tell, but just this list of films, and as you can see, it's got like the kind of check next to them.
Yeah.
4 of that list have been.
And you
checked off.
you scrolled with your thumb like 4 times there as well. There was so
Yeah,
many
there's,
films to
like,
see.
There's at least 40 on this list, and I've watched
Jesus.
Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Godfather 1, and Blade Runner. And I'll be honest, I liked one of them. I'm the same, really. Like, see if it doesn't totally grip me at first, I'm not like you, to be honest. I'll just turn it off, and then I'll feel bad for turning it off, because I'm like, oh, I was supposed to be committing my time, but I'd rather just put on the extended version of Return of the King for 5 hours, because it's like one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah, but you know we are
So-
getting with that, you know? Like, it is...
Yeah, I think that's what it is like comfortability.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fear of something new. Uh-oh, are we going down this route already?
I think
no.
I mean, no, I would agree with that. To be honest, like I have seen the same films over and over and over. Like, I would say, like, the films that I've seen the most are The Iron Giant, which is animated film that I watched when I was a kid. One of the greatest films of all time. Vin Diesel doing his thing again. You know how Vin Diesel plays Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Characters with low
lines.
voices, yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially, he took the Iron Giant character and put it in a modern day, because he does the exact same thing. The Iron Giant. It's amazing.
I've never seen it.
Between that, it's a great film. Between that, Aladdin, classic.
Never seen it.
This is hurtful. I mean, I'm rhyming all these off, knowing fine well that you haven't seen it, because you have, like, I think I know one film that I know you have seen.
Which is?
Tenet. Is that how you
That's
say it?
because I spoke about it to you for ages, because it confused the fuck out of me. I watched the film, and then I spent longer watching videos on YouTube about what the film meant. Still don't know. Not got a clue. Chris Nolan has totally perplexed me by this entire film.
Yeah, but he's so good at that. Have you seen any of his other films that aren't one of the Batman films? Because obviously that's kind of...
I've seen the
what you see is what
Batmans.
you get.
I have seen the Batmans.
Nah,
I saw
the
Inception.
Batmans.
The Batmans. The Batmans. I've seen Inception.
Uh-huh.
You told me to watch The Prestige. I still haven't done that.
Honestly, I don't know how many times I need to say it to you.
More.
The greatest film ever made. Prestige is hands down the greatest film I have ever seen. I love that film, but I've also not seen a lot, so I'm very...
You don't have much
excited.
to go on.
Exactly. But the other film that he has that's really good is Memento. It's like...
That's been on
it's
my
another one that's
list.
dead it's another one that's dead confusing with the whole time thing. I know Tenet's like kind of weird about time, and it's quite confusing. Memento's another one that's like all about time, and it's so fucking confusing, but
like-
also a great film.
All of his films just about time, bar Batman.
Yeah, because you've got, what's the other one? Interstellar, which is all kind of time orientated as well.
Oh,
Because
it's
of
got
the
Matthew
kind of
McConaughey in
time.
it as well, hasn't it?
It took us 10 minutes, and it's never even been fucking mentioned.
I've decided though, like now that we're talking about films, I am going
Yeah.
to watch all of his films. I've never seen any of them. Never seen
Yeah,
one Matthew McConaughey film other than like I said, like Wolf of Wall Street, like when he's in it for
yeah,
30 seconds or whatever.
yeah. I mean, he pretty much steals the show. Let's be honest. Like that first scene, that only scene with him in it is fucking hilarious. The guy just like
Yeah.
you believe him to be that guy,
Yeah, that's him.
not as that is Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street.
Even that thing you sent me
You know?
today, like if McConaughey was Thanos. Oh man, I
watched
was
that film.
gutting myself. I was so funny.
I'll see if I can get it up while we're chatting. But I would agree with what you said. I would watch that film. Like, but I think the only one that really sticks out for me for McConaughey was that one that he did with Jared Leto. I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh, Dallas Buyers.
Club.
So he
That's really hard to watch.
was cause obviously like he had to lose a lot of weight for that film. He
Yeah.
had to get down to like 145 or something.
Jesus, pounds?
Whatever. Yeah. What I think so. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
But he was doing that, going through his weight loss and stuff, and then that's when he got the call from Scorsese to go do the Wolf of Wall Street thing. That's why he looks pretty gaunt in it, like
All right.
because he's like
Right.
still in the mid. He speaks about it in his book Green Lights, available on all good bookstores. I'm just
When
plugging
did you
him
get
now.
Sponsored by Green Lights.
Can I get sponsored by Matthew McConaughey just personally?
You can do all of our promo spots for us.
Look, if Oak and Mesquite were having a party at the lake house, I'd go. You know?
I found this video by the way, so I'm gonna play it. I'll play it in the microphone.
Yeah, hit it up.
McConaughey is Thanos. Here we go. Alright, Avengers, here's the game plan. I'm gonna destroy half this planet, whether you like it or not, man, just with a snap of your fingers. The thing is, I only got about 3 Infinity Stones, and I gotta pump those numbers up. So me and my telekinetic pals, my damn IGODs, man, the OGs. What's up, brother? We're going to destroy you.
Oh my god.
It's the whistle.
It's the whistle.
whistles and the
That guy has
staffing and shit.
absolutely nailed it. I love it so much.
Like the perfect character arc. I would watch that film
Oh, several times over. I really would.
every day of the week.
Yep.
But that's another one that's like, I was rhyming off all the films I've seen. Like those are the ones that I will like never miss. One is the fucking Marvel films. Like,
Yeah.
they're just so engaging and so like almost easy to watch as well.
I mean, I've said I've seen
felt
like 5 films, but like I think like that Marvel series, like up until Endgame, there's what like 30 films, something like that.
something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Stupid. So I've seen all
I
superhero
felt-
films.
I fell away from it actually. Like I remember when like Iron Man came out and then like Iron Man 2, first Captain America film, Thor, like when they did like the whole first phase, I was like so gung ho on it. And then for some reason I just like skipped all of phase 2 and then kind of picked up at some point in phase 3 again and was just like, I have fucking no idea what is going on. Because I missed
Yeah.
so much out and I had to like go back and redo it.
It's
I
always
can't
worth
remember
going
what
back
film I
though.
came back to. Yeah. There was loads of films that I hadn't watched when I was picking it back up, and I was like, right, I need to go and actually watch these, and then you actually start watching them and know how all the storylines all like match up. Like eventually they all come to a head and all that stuff. It just like
It's genuinely mind
the
blowing.
fact that it took them like 10 years of storytelling to get to Endgame, like Infinity War and Endgame, blows my fucking mind, man. Absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know how they managed it. Like, I sit down every now and then and try to like picture the board meetings that they would have had to like get to that point where they're like, so every film we make is tied in, and everything we make
Yeah.
apart, like away from the films, is tied in. So do not
Yeah.
fuck this up.
Yeah, and then like now they're doing these like Disney Plus shows and stuff
Yeah.
as well, and then they all still tie into the story, but like are so separate at the same time. It's just like I think this is like I don't really get super fucking excited about like new TV shows and new films and stuff, but I'm genuinely like so excited to see with what they do with the next phase, because these TV shows are like the kind of beginning of the next phase. So they've done WandaVision, and they're doing Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they're just like, they're so far removed from the films. I feel they're like their kind of own entity, but they're like so fucking good.
Yeah.
And it just, I get so excited about what could come, you know.
Yeah, I'm feeling really excited. I'm kind of upset at the same time that like Falcon and the Winter Soldier has come in so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
because tomorrow's episode 5, so which means next week's the finale.
Yeah, but I've seen a few things saying that supposedly tomorrow's episode is like over an hour.
Jesus, like full feature
Like-
length. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, because it was like with when they did WandaVision, the first like 3 episodes were only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they were
So
quite
it's almost
short.
like, so it was almost like they did WandaVision for longer because the episodes were shorter. But these Falcon and the Winter Soldiers is over quicker because the episodes are longer each week. kind of
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I think there's some, like, Sebastian Stan has managed to make me cry so many times
Oh, yeah, he's
just by being handsome.
just by being handsome. And like I said, I'd take him up to the elbow, you know? Like, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, yeah, come on. Like straight up.
You are so gross.
Look, he's a handsome fella,
people-
okay?
He is so gorgeous, man. Like, me and Emma have always had this argument about Sebastian Stan from, like, the beginning. I've always found him very attractive. But Emma never really got it. But then we started watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and she just looked at me in the first episode and just went, "Yep, okay." I
Like,
get it
when,
now."
because when you first see it, well, not in, like, Captain America, but, like, when you see him in, like, the Winter Soldier and stuff, he's, like, the long hair doesn't work on him, really, you know? I don't know what it is about him with the long hair.
I think in the Winter Soldier, because it's a bit greasy and shit. But, like, see when that dude washed his hair for Steve coming to see him in Wakanda, that dude was looking fucking fierce.
He looks better with short hair, though.
Yeah, but he's one of those guys that I think he would just always be gorgeous. He's in, what's that film he's in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Is he?
As, like,
I've never seen it, so I
as,
don't know why
like,
I'm acting surprised. Couldn't tell you anyone in that film.
Rob Corddry and Craig Robinson are probably the only two that I remember. It's actually a very funny film, but he plays like a super red, white and blue American frat boy thing that, like, hates Russians and shit, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, the dude is so funny. I really like that guy, and I'm glad that he's kind of getting a bit more of a spotlight to, like, actually properly act, because, like, Winter Soldier obviously was just, like, kind of the mindless
Silent for the entire
stabby
film.
yeah, the mindless stabby guy that's fighting people with a metal arm. So it's kind of letting him expand on his character a lot more. And he's just a hell of an actor, man. He's just so good.
He is.
Like, that first scene of last week's episode just had me in tears.
Oh man, don't. That was rough to watch.
Oh, it's horrible.
It was terrible, but you know, it like you're saying, it is nice to see that character develop, and you get a bit more of a backstory. Because obviously there was a lot of his life missing, so you're getting to, like, pick up those pieces, and then you're getting to pick up more pieces from when he was, you know, kicking out in Wakanda. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm enjoying it. Really enjoying
Yeah,
it.
it's cool, man. It is really cool. But are there any films in particular that you would say are, like, your guilty pleasures? Like, mine are terrible films. Well, they're not actually terrible. They're some of the greatest films of all time. But, like, films that traditionally people would be like, why the fuck are you watching that every day of the week?
Guilty pleasure. I love Grease. It's not a guilty pleasure at all, but I just love Grease. I remember when I was a kid, I would watch it, like, on video, like VHS tape, for, like,
Nice.
nights and nights at a time, and I just wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I thought Danny Zuko was the coolest.
I'm kind of in your shoes now. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You've
I've
never.
heard of Grease, and I know some of the songs because they're on the radio, but I don't think I've ever seen the film.
Yeah, it's just a musical. I think that's why I liked it. I liked musicals when I was younger. I still
Yeah.
don't entirely hate musicals. Me and
Yeah,
Shanna were
there's-
listening
there's
to the Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat soundtrack the other day, because I was
Nice.
when I was at school, I was in that show.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What did you play?
I played Dan, one of the brothers. I played one of the Egyptian guards, and I played something else, a prisoner, maybe.
Oh, he's a multi-talented actor now.
Yeah, I had no real lines. I was basically in the choir, but they had to give me a name, so I was Dan. Which I believe is a character. He is in it.
Right.
The brothers, no one gave a fuck about the brothers. The main man was Big Jofus, you know, and his big coat.
Yeah.
So so we were listening to that. I sang Close Every Door, for like my standard grade exam when I was at school. That was banging. That's a good song.
Yeah, that is actually really cool.
I think the one that's on Spotify is done by Jason Donovan, which is, you know, pretty fucking cool.
I don't know who that is.
How do you not know who Jason Donovan is?
I just don't know who that is, bro.
Was-
I don't know what to tell you.
Pumping Kylie Minogue for like 1,000,000 years.
Like I give a shit about that.
They were
Care
on.
about people's
They were
lives.
on Neighbours. Come on, you know about Neighbours.
I know of Neighbours. But surely Kylie Minogue and shit were on Neighbours like before we were even born.
But I still know who they are.
I know who Kylie Minogue is. She's got some banging songs. I
She
don't know who
does.
Jason Donovan is.
Ah,
She has some very good songs. I mean, I will piggyback on you were saying there are some musicals out there that are fucking wild. Like, I remember we went to London with my school as like a music trip. 2 different years we went, and we went to like see the musicals essentially. And the one that always stands out for me was when we went to see fucking Hairspray. That shit rocked.
I don't know if I've seen Hairspray.
I've never seen the film, but I've seen it in London, and it was fucking lit. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I would
I mean,
like
it
to go
probably
to
is
some
worth a
big
watch.
musicals like that. I think.
Yeah.
Because I saw like a real production of Joni's Jacket, like in the in the Armadillo, and that was really
Yes.
cool. Like it was just like a cast of people. It was no one of worth, you know.
Yeah.
It might have been, and I've just like totally ruined their whole career.
Yeah, this podcast that nobody listens to. It's like, how dare that motherfucker say that?
Yeah, how dare he? That was my life's work. But I'd like to go see like I'd love to go see like Les Mis, but I
Oh
don't.
man, that'd be amazing.
I also just don't have 4 days to go sit in a theater though. You know, like it's so long.
Is it that long? God damn.
I don't know.
I mean, like,
I
I've s-
remember. I
I-
remember the film being long, like the one that they did with
Yeah.
big Hugh Jackman.
Big Wolverine.
Yep,
That was
slashing
a
people in
fucking
that
tear.
during the French
tearjerker,
Revolution.
I was just when he had the bones, he didn't have the fucking the metal in him yet.
Comic
It was
books.
just this
Comic books.
Skeletor. Always comes back to the comic books. That's actually one that I've never finished. I've never watched. What's the one that he did? Logan. I've never watched Logan.
I've never seen Logan either.
It looks fucking hella good, and I just don't know why I've never watched it. I think it's just because I know how it ends, and I don't really want to watch it. Like,
Well,
it scares me watching it.
I don't know how it ends. I'm just lazy.
Right.
I do want to watch it though, because I saw they did like a noir cut of it as well, which sounds pretty
Yeah, I think I would watch that. I think I would watch that one just for the weird factor. It's like, what's the film I watched recently? It was in black and white. I can't even fucking remember. But it's like a kind of modern film that was made in black and white, and it's just like that kind of.
cool. Oh, was it The Lighthouse?
No, I've still not watched that.
Man,
Still not
that's
watched that.
a nutso film. That film
Yeah,
was
well, I
wild.
mean, like, anything with Willem Dafoe in it, you know, is going to be fucking weird. Like,
yeah.
That dude does some weird films. I can't remember what I was saying.
Ah.
Where the fuck were we?
Black and white film.
All-
Hugh Jackman.
Black and white films. Oh, whatever, man. We were talking about musicals. But
We were.
I think probably my favourite musical would be Rocky Horror Picture Show. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Oh,
It
man.
is- There was a Twitter page that tweeted Antissa, and then that was it. And they left it for like years and years, and then like just came back to it and said patient. Mwah. The biggest of chefist kiss. That is unreal, man. That's commitment to the bit.
It's just, well, I mean, I bet it was just like, oh, we'll hold it off for a couple of days for a laugh, and then they just straight up forgot. And then like, saw it a couple of years later, and we're like, oh, fuck. We better do that. I mean, like,
Somehow
I actually
got
didn't
funnier.
know until, like, oh, man, the longer you leave it. I actually didn't know until a couple of weeks ago that fucking Tim Curry is dead.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well,
The dude-
what a way
exactly.
to find out.
Exactly.
Is he
That was
dead?
the exact same reaction. Yeah. Like, I'm bringing it up right now because I was like so shook as well because it was Emma that told me, and she was like, "No, he's dead." I was
Was he
like,
not,
"Nah,
like-
he's not fucking dead."
Was he not like in a wheelchair and stuff for a long time?
Emma was fucking lying. Supposedly he is not dead.
Yeah, I
Fucking
didn't think he was dead.
breaking news. I've been sitting here thinking for weeks that Tim Curry was dead.
Oh, your wife's a
not.
filthy liar. I can't believe we found this out on the podcast. I'm so glad I was here for that.
She's probably thinking that. She must have been thinking of somebody else, man.
You
I've been
son of a
sitting
bitch.
here, like, heartbroken. I nearly imagine I like posted shit on like Instagram or something like R.I.P. Tim Curry.
Man, that would be the funniest thing.
People just like, yo, when did Tim Curry die? Like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
But like that's like almost like believable enough that people would be like, fucking hell, really? Like, oh, I'd love
Yeah.
to start a rumor that someone was dead and then just watch people like tweet and stuff about it and no find
remember they did it. Remember they did it to our fucking boy Neil Buchanan from Art Attack. Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
Everybody was like tweeting and shit, like R.I.P. Neil Buchanan. He was like, he just kind of came out a couple of days later, just be like, yo, I'm fine.
Okay, what you talking about? I'm
Stop
alright.
tweeting.
I've just been doing a big art attack on my living room floor for a couple of days. That's why no one's heard from me. Don't worry about it.
But that has absolutely blown my fucking mind. As I've been sitting here for months, thinking
Just fucking
Tim Curry
distraught that Tim Curry's
it's
dead.
fucking, he's definitely not. I mean, like, Tim Curry's one of those guys that he's been in my life so much as like a child and a grown up. So
Yeah.
like Rocky Horror Picture, I'm just looking at his like his body of work. So there's like Rocky Horror Picture Show, obviously, is fucking Dr. Frankenfurter, and then there's Home Alone, which is in the second one. Muppets
Yeah.
Treasure Island. That is like Muppets. If you've never seen Muppets Treasure Island, because I know you don't really like films.
No, he's Long John Silver, right?
Oh man, what a film!
Yeah, I'm sure I had that on
love that
video as
film.
well.
Like, great film. What else is there? Charlie's Angels,
Was
Scary
he?
Movie 2.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah,
Oh, he was in Scary
It was
Movie
it was. Yeah. What else is there? Pennywise, obviously.
Naturally.
Pennywise. Oh man, he's just one of those guys that's just kind of always been around in your life. And then
Was he-
I'm sitting here thinking he's fucking dead.
Was he in a wheelchair? Did I just make that part up?
I think he is actually. Let me check. I mean, we're just gonna just put his whole life on blast right now.
This is the
Uses a
fact check
wheelchair.
episode. This is the episode where we actually fact check.
Instead of like, to peel back the curtain a little bit. Every time we have a podcast, our very dear friend Johnny Almond will text us like the next day, just fact checking all the shit we have said.
Apparently, the film I was looking for last week with Matthew McConaughey was called The Lincoln Lawyer. But that
Yep.
wasn't the A Time to Kill was the one I was thinking about because he does play a lawyer in that. 100%. Not seen it, but he does play that lawyer.
I had no idea what either of you were talking about, and then no doubt it turned into an absolute fucking horrible shit fest after that, because anytime you guys are in a conversation it turns into something horrific. Tim Curry uses a wheelchair after suffering a stroke in July 2012. That's a real shame, man.
That is a shame. I knew that was.
I mean, I'm very glad he's still alive.
Yeah, I'd rather him be alive and in a wheelchair than dead. That's
Yeah,
infinitely better.
that's for sure. Infinitely better. But I like those kind of, I like thinking of those people that have just kind of been in your life since you were wee. you know, those actors and those actresses that have just always been around.
Yeah.
So it's like Tim Curry would be one for me. Robin Williams, obviously, just like prime 90s into early 90s films he was in, just like right
Everything.
throughout your entire life.
He was the flavour of the decade. he was very good at what he did.
I
weird one
still
that-
remember being. On you go, man.
Continue, please.
I was just going to go into how distraught I was when he died, but I've already talked about Tim Curry being dead, so let's move on to something else.
I was just gonna say, like, even like people who aren't in films, like the one person that I always remember as an actor is David Jason. Like, just always remember him as an actor. Like, watching Only Fools and Horses. Like, and
Yeah.
I love that I watched you be so confused about who David Jason was, and then I said Only Fools and Horses, and I watched the penny drop. I seen it all happen. You're like, But I remember watching that. But then at the same time, like when I was growing up, because he was old by then, like
Yeah.
he was in Touch of Frost, which my mum
Touch
and
of
dad
Frost.
just always watched. And then like he was
Yeah.
on like Last of the Summer Wine and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
He was just always on the telly for some reason because he's
Always
a
there.
great actor.
He is a very good actor. Like, he was dead. What was that thing, the TV show they did when it was in like the shop? Open all hours.
Yes.
That was funny as fuck. That was really good. I like that show as well.
All those old
Yeah,
like
that was,
British
like-
comedies don't get enough like credit, you know. They
Oh
were
man,
so
like
good.
the peak for me would need to be Fawlty Towers.
I was gutted we never found the hotel when we were in Torquay.
I know. I know.
Our-
I mean, we didn't try very hard.
No, we
But-
went to the arcade and watched Blanket on the Penny Falls machines. That was all we did.
That dude is so talented when it comes to Penny's Falls machine. I still remember when he sat and like showed me his technique and stuff. I was like a new baby being born, watching him with his fingering technique.
What? Good thing it's after dark, eh? Whoa, past the watershed. Jesus. But no,
What was seen again? Oh, aye. The British sitcoms. Yeah, I would agree. There are some fucking excellent ones out there that kind of don't get a lot of light. Like, did you watch Black Books?
yes,
There's another one that was just
yes.
peak fucking horrible British humor.
That
It
was
was
just
just
grumpy men
fucking
being
brilliant.
grumpy, though, wasn't it? Like I think that's why we
Yeah.
all related to that so much.
That was a fucking great one. Yeah, I still remember my dad putting on Fawlty Towers when I was wee. Me and my brother sitting watching it, and the one that always stood out for Fawlty Towers was the one where he, like his car wouldn't start, and he just like disappears off screen for 2 seconds, and then come back with like half a tree and just starts banning fuck out his car.
Oh.
Still to this day, that just sticks out in my mind so much.
I've got such a crap memory when it comes to things like that. Like a lot of people I know can just like quote things like as if it's nothing, like so off the cuff. I've got to sit there and I've got to really think about the scene. I've got to think about what was happening. I've got to think about the scene leading into this scene before I even think about it. Because I'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
But
You're thinking about like the weather and shit.
yeah, like my brain just doesn't hold on to things well. Like you could be
Yeah.
sitting talking to Duncan and he's like, oh, on like one particular episode of It's Always Sunny, and I'm like, nah, not got a clue. Watched it, not got a clue.
I mean, like that's the like the kind of that's the watching Duncan and Sam getting a conversation where they're both fully in tune with what it
Oh yeah.
is one of the like Earth's undiscovered mysteries or unsolved mysteries. It's just how the fuck the two of them can retain all of the things that they say. Like, you could say something so specific to either of them about an episode of like Peep Show, especially Duncan with Peep Show, and he would be able to rhyme off everything about it, and you're just sitting there like, okay man, I don't even know what I had for my breakfast. How the fuck do you know that?
How do you remember every single line? And it's always like the right situation they say it as well. Like sometimes you don't even have to like say like something specifically about an episode. You could just say something that sounds almost similar to what they said in a scene. and he would
Yeah.
give you like the next line, and I'd be like, "What?"
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was like, it's from Peep Show episode like 3, season 6, and I'm like,
Gives you the full fucking synopsis.
yeah, synopsis.
Synopsis. I mean, that's a real talent. I mean, these kind of people. I mean, like, could you imagine like Duncan going on Mastermind, and like a special topic being obscure movie quotes or obscure TV quotes?
I have a client who has just been on Mastermind.
Okay.
So,
Open up that box.
So he's, I don't know what age he is. He's in uni. He's younger than me. He's
Right.
doing his maybe masters, maybe PhD. I don't know. He does something at university. He's a very smart human being, and I feel really bad that I don't remember. But he was on, he was on Mastermind, and his specialist subject is Hercule Poirot.
Is that a person?
It's the Agatha Christie novel series.
Ah, okay.
But he knows everything about a Hercule Poirot. So like,
Is that how I actually know what you're talking about now, and I have always called it Poirot.
Hi, Poirot. But he was on there. There was two. So there was like 4 people on it. 2 people got 8 points. One lady got 15 points. And my boy got 26 points.
Took home the gold.
Straight slaying, you know? So like now he goes like through to the TV thing. In fact, it's on TV in like 4 days time. The 19th. It's on TV on the 19th. Which is something I shouldn't be getting this. Yeah, it's something I shouldn't be getting this excited about. On the 19th. Did you hear that? Did you hear me say the 19th?
No.
Well,
I heard up to he is on the TV and then it froze.
4 days time, the 19th. There we go.
Mega.
Plug-in for my boy.
Shout out, watch Mastermind on the 19th at whatever time on whatever channel it's on.
I think it's on BBC too. It's always on BBC.
Right.
Isn't it? Maybe.
I mean, people will find it. If people are really interested in watching Mastermind, they'll know where it is. Because I feel like anybody who watches it obviously knows where it is. Like, I've seen it before, but I couldn't tell you where I watched it. Where I was in any space of time. I don't really do TV shows. I think we spoke about this last week. Actually, just don't watch regular TV. It's just fucking terrible for it. I think the only
unless
thing
it's
I would
Pitch
ever
Perfect too.
Yeah. The last 10 minutes of that film, man, it just kills me. I fucking cry every goddamn time. Actually, that is something that I noticed, how fucking soft I became to movies after I had a kid. Like, this is no bullshit. This is me not playing it up. I could watch any film from ages 1 or whenever I started film until 21 years old before I had a kid. I could watch any goddamn film and not shed a tear, not feel any emotions because I was numb. And then Luna was born, and like put on like Finding Nemo or some shit for her to just sit and watch something when she's a child to try and keep her entertained. And god fucking damn it, dude, every upsetting or even joyful thing that happens in that goddamn film, the waterworks erupt out of me. And it is now like that for every fucking film I watch.
Man, you're
like,
preaching to
I
the
can't
choir.
watch the I know you're a big softie, man.
Man,
But I can't watch the film Coco. If you've ever seen Coco,
no.
I can't watch it because I cry the entire fucking time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous film. But
I could see
God.
a kind of sad advert and I would cry. Like, it just gets me. I can't help myself. I will bubble at anything.
Yeah. But it's like, it's being in tune with your emotions, man. Like,
Or
I
it's
think-
not being in tune with your emotions and having zero control over them whatsoever. I think that might be more true in my case. I'm not in tune. I'm just emotional.
But I think we've come up in a generation. I think we are quite fortunate that we've come up in a generation where it's like, we were kind of maybe the next generation on from being like, no, men should be able to feel their emotions and feel
Yeah.
sad about things and talk about it and stuff. So it's like, we don't feel any kind of weird shame when it comes to crying.
No.
Like, I'll just cry on the spot because I'm just like upset. Like,
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
thing that blows my goddamn mind. Like, even see just like people I know who are a bit older than me. I mean, like, I'm nearly 30, but I would know somebody who's like 31, like not even that much older than me, that's like never cried a day in their life because they just suppress all of their emotions because that's what they were told to do when they were
Yeah.
younger.
It weirds me out.
And it's like, I find it fucking terrifying, if I'm being honest. Like, not being able to just like cry because I'm frustrated about something, or not being able to just cry because I'm overwhelmed by something. Like, instead I would just like bury it deep down somewhere and then not let it out. Like, I feel like I would just fucking explode one day.
Absolutely.
Completely erupt.
I'd be right there with you in bits, man. That's not healthy at all.
No.
But it is for
It
like
can't
you
be.
say. There's like people have been told, men have been told, you know, you gotta be big and tough and all this, that, and the next thing. And I am sorry, but I just do not fit into that category. You know, like I have my moments where I'm like quote unquote manly. Doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I'm quite a camp human being. But
Yeah.
there's times where I know that I will take charge. Like, but I never feel emasculated by any other situation where maybe I take the back seat and someone else takes over, you know? Like, that doesn't bother
Yeah.
me. Like, I know the things I'm good at and I will be good at them. But I have got zero shame in, like, being, I don't know, viewed as not, like, completely masculine. Because what does that even
Yeah,
mean,
like,
you know?
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, I think we've kind of been told, or at least the generation before us and before that, they've kind of been told about the whole alpha bullshit of like, you need to be
Yeah.
the man of the house, you need to be the alpha dog of the house. But it's like, nah, like, I don't want to do that stuff. Like, I will bark at somebody if I need to bark, but I'm not going to sit here
Yeah.
and bark at somebody just because I can. Like, that's fucking bullshit, because it's like, I feel like it works two
wasted
ways,
energy.
but it's like, yes, yeah, oh, for sure. But it's like, I feel like it works in two ways, where it's like, men are told to suppress their feelings and not express themselves in a way that would be deemed as feminine. I fucking hate it when that thing gets thrown at me. It's like, I don't give a shit if you think I'm feminine. I'm going to fucking do that because that's where I feel comfortable. But like, they'll be told to suppress all that stuff and then be the kind of alpha dog on the other side. But then instead of being the alpha dog when they need to be, they'll just be the alpha dog at all times because they think that's what they're supposed to do. And then that's just when you're genuinely just a fucking asshole. Like,
Yeah,
and that's...
yeah.
I just steer clear of those people in general. I just couldn't imagine feeling that way about things, and like,
it's toxic. It's a
I don't know.
toxic
I-
environment to
part
put
of me
yourself
feels-
into.
yeah. Part of me actually feels sorry for these people that have been brought up and been told those things, because a lot of these
Yeah.
people that they didn't have the choice of being who they felt comfortable being and who they wanted to be, and then had to become the person that they were told to be. Like, that's kind of one thing that I will always thank my parents for, is they never forced me to be anything or forced me to be a certain way. They were always comfortable with any kind of choices I make. They used to always throw out this word, what was it, metrosexual, when I was younger. And I never
Yeah.
actually knew what it meant, and I still don't. But it was basically just their way of saying, your camp is shit and it's fine, you know? And I think that was a nice warming way to be brought up, you know? Just like, whatever you're gonna do,
absolutely.
we'll kind of make
I was
fun of you
lucky
about
enough
it.
as well to, like-
we'll kind of
My mum and dad were fairly similar to yours as well. Like, I definitely get like my emotional streak from my dad. Like, my dad is exactly the same as me, whereas like, you know, anything mildly distressing, he's just kind of like, Jesus Christ, here they come. Or like, even if it's happy, like I cry when I'm happy as well, like a lot.
Yeah.
But I got that as well. I didn't get the metrosexual thing. They just got that. Oh, Gary's different, you know, because I like to like wear eyeliner and dye my hair and paint my nails.
Yeah. It was like the kind of, they like to poke holes for a bit of kind of, it's a bit fun, kind of having a laugh with your kids and stuff. But it was never anything that was like fucking traumatizing and turned you off being who you were. It was always kind of like, yeah, we're going to poke holes because it's funny, but like at the end of the day, we still support you and what you decide to do, and however you end up turning out, you know. And like, you know, I've had this conversation. Like, I'll be honest, I still don't fully understand my sexuality, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm obviously very deeply, madly in love with a woman, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I am heterosexual in any way. Like,
I get that.
I feel like physically attracted towards other males. Like, me and Emma have had the same conversation where it's like, Emma feels certain ways about her sexuality as well, but it's like, I could feel as though I could be fully in love with somebody of the same gender, somebody of the same sex.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's trying to break down that construct in your head when you've been brought up. And this isn't anything on my parents' end. It's been brought up in a world where everything was just male and female. And then when I started kind of realising, like, oh, that's maybe not, that's not as black and white as what you've been told.
Yeah.
And you kind of start to like question a wee bit more about how you feel about things. And as I'm getting older, I'm kind of becoming a bit more in tune with it, that I'm like, maybe I'm not a straight ruler, you know. Maybe I could kind of fucking feel certain ways about other people, you know. But not that that's gonna fucking change the way I feel about my wife, you know. I'm still fucking heavily in love, you know.
I feel that like, as well. Like, there's definitely moments in my life where I felt like I've been dipping in and out of like how I felt and what I feel, you know. Like, they're two different things for me. Like, like I know in my head that I'm attracted to women, but then I look at a guy sometimes and I'm like, yo, what's up?
Oh damn.
But then my brain doesn't let me take it any further. Like, it won't let me like it's not like there's a sexual attraction there. It's not like there's an intimate like attraction. I couldn't like picture myself being like that, like with a guy in that sort of way. But like I have those moments where I go, oh, here am I, like, because I will like look at someone and I go, Jesus fucking Christ, he's handsome as fuck. Like, what is that? Like, but then in my head, like, it almost shuts it down, and I don't know if that's like a defense mechanism, my brain trying to tell me otherwise. But like, I don't know. You know, I'm a try anything twice kind of guy. You know, like once to see if I like it, twice to make sure. You know, but like, but I think it's becoming a much more fluid thing.
Big time.
Like,
big time.
It's
not a tick box anymore.
Yeah, I'm all for it. You know, the world's changing. Why not change with it? It doesn't make you any different from anyone else. You know, it's like we're all kind of in this together. Yeah,
precisely, man. I mean, this is all just gearing up to the fact that we're finally, I mean, it might be like the final episode of the podcast is where we finally just proclaim our deep, true love for each other and end up building a family together. I mean, it'll get there one day.
It'll be nice. It'll be messy. There might be some paperwork to fill out, but you know what, man? If signing on a dotted line is what it takes, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I am not gonna lie. I really like this After Dark thing.
Maybe we should do it every now and then. Like,
Yeah,
just let it get weird, you know?
yeah. Like, I'll definitely need to get a couple of beers in for the next one so we can get a bit weirder. Because right now I'm just drinking water. My delirium is coming from the fact that I've been up since like 5 o'clock. It's not anything to do with the fact that I've been drinking.
I got up this morning before my alarm went off, and that was a really weird experience for me. Like,
Oh God.
I actually kind of enjoyed it. I didn't get out of bed, but I got up before my alarm went off. That felt like an achievement. My alarm was going off at like 6:45 or something, and I got up at like
Yeah.
6:15. I was like, wow, I'm awake. I might try and sleep.
Wow.
I didn't. I just lay in bed and like scroll through my phone, and then got out of bed at 7:30. I had to rush around. I was like, I had a whole hour. I had a whole hour to prepare, and I still am rushing. Dickhead. Left my lunch in the fridge and everything. Ugh.
Oh mate.
I know.
That's one thing that I do not miss, if I'm being honest, is the rushing about in the morning to get to work and stuff. I do not miss it
Yeah.
at all. Like,
I enjoy my commute. My
Yeah.
commute was different from yours. Obviously, you were driving, which I don't
Yeah.
think I would mind too much because I wouldn't be driving as far as you would be driving. But I like
Yeah.
to have a start and an end to my working day, and for me, that's the commute. Like, it's an hour just
Yeah.
to, or an hour, half an hour, whatever it is, like just to listen to some music, read a book, podcast, decompress after the day. Like, it's
yeah, unwind.
it's important.
I think when I was I was only in the office for 3 months before everyone got shut down because I'd just started the job in January of last year, and then by
Yeah.
March we were all sent home. And I felt kind of differently about that journey. As much as it was like an hour, I did it wasn't an hour in traffic. It was like
No.
the last job I was in, it was an hour, but it was an hour in traffic. And that is the worst. It was never enjoyed.
No.
Because like I would have to go straight from work to go and like pick one of the kids up from nursery and shit. So it was just like total fucking panic. Just like, am I gonna be late to pick these kids up? And it wasn't a nice time. But the journey going to where I am just now, it did have that element of like, yeah, you can put the music on, turn it up fucking loud, and just kind of drive. But I still just like being able to get up at like whatever time and just chill out, not even put any clothes on, turn my laptop on, answer a couple of emails in my pants, and be like, right, I better go hop in a shower, like fucking 10 o'clock in the morning. I've already been working for like an hour and a half. Just
That's
like,
the
right,
life. Some people really fell
better
into
get
the
ready
work
for the
from
day.
home. Yeah, some people really fell into the work from home thing like really well.
Mhm.
But I just don't think I could do it. I don't think I could.
Well, you
It's-
physically can't because you're a barber.
Well, aye. That is also a big part of it. I don't want my house covered in hair.
Exactly.
Yeah. Squash that.
Yeah, I
didn't you?
couldn't-
Jesus.
I couldn't imagine you doing everything in your house. I mean, you don't like sitting. I mean, it's not that you don't like sitting. It's the separating work from home.
Yeah.
I
that's a
think
big thing.
you like having that big separation between the two.
Yeah. Like, I don't really answer any questions about my job, like, after I finish work. Like, if someone, like, messages me and they're like, oh, what time's my appointment again? That's getting answered at 9 o'clock the next day, or when I'm in the shop. Because I'm just like, I'm in the house now. Like,
I'm
not-
at home.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything that I probably should do. Like,
But that's not going to stop that person from turning up to get their haircut at the end of the day.
exactly. If they want to know enough, they'll
That's
find out
what-
themselves. Like,
Yeah, and just go and look at their emails or something, unless they're like an old person that doesn't know how to work emails.
yeah. More often than not, that is the case, to be fair.
Oh, really? What actually is what is your clientele like? I don't think I've ever seen any of your clients. Like, is it all
My
generally
clientele-
see because of where you're based? Is it kind of like younger, like student-y vibe, or is it more?
My clientele
upscale?
is so spread out, man.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really enjoy, because I just like people. I like how weird
Yeah.
everyone is. A lot of my clients are kind of middle-aged men.
Nice.
Usually usually with a pretty interesting job. Like I've got like a lot of clients that are like scientists and stuff like that. I've got like one
Nice.
one client in particular that's he's a writer for River City. And he does like
Nice.
yeah, he's done like a couple of films and all that as well. I cut the hair of
That's
like the
fucking
production
sick.
manager of like a couple of BBC shows and all that kind of stuff. He did like This Is England and all that kind of stuff too.
Nice.
I do get a lot of
great show.
students. I get a lot of young lads in the shop. Just because
Yeah.
we're so close to university. They're not
Yeah, I
my
was gonna say,
favourite
like,
people.
the scientist stuff, or the students.
Yeah,
or where you are.
no. The students aren't my favourite. They hold a special place in my heart, but I don't know. I have this thing with like people who aren't 25 yet. I'm just like, oh, you're not a real human being until you hit 25. Like I feel like you're not like emotionally there yet. You know,
That's quite shitty, man.
it's not though because it's a genuine thing where your brain like it matures after the age of 25, and that's just how it is. And like you can tell, like some of the kids come into the shop and they're like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Like, oh, I'm sorry for like getting you out of your bed and like having you in work this early. And I'm like, man, this is the shift. I'm here at 9 o'clock. Like that's how that works. It's like, oh, what time you working until today? Oh, 6 o'clock. You're until 6 o'clock. Oh my god, that's such a long day. I'm like, bro, you have no fucking idea. Like this is just the day. You're gonna struggle like so much. Like, oh, you work in the weekends? Yes, I work the weekends. Do you know why? Because I'm cutting your hair. You fucking oh man.
I'm cutting your hair, and it is currently Saturday. Of course,
Yeah,
I work the
like-
weekends.
Some of these kids like just don't get it, you know. There's some that do,
Yeah.
and the ones that do get it are the kids that work as well as study, and those are the ones
Yeah,
that I
those
get
are the
on
kids.
really. Those are the ones I get on really well with because I can see that
Mhm.
they have some sort of like drive to do something, even though their job
Yeah.
that they may be doing at the same time isn't related to what their degree's gonna be. They're grafters, you know, and I love a grafter. I love somebody that's gonna work
Yeah.
because I just feel like I've got that. 'Cause I do enjoy working, and I've always enjoyed working. Like when I was learning how to do all this, it was like 7 days a week, you know.
Mhm.
And I think, not that I think I went through it, everyone else should go through it, but like I can really relate to someone that just wants to do better by, you know, working a job that makes
Yeah.
them some money so they can save up or buy themselves some things and also learn at the same time. I think it's just really
Mhm.
important. So if you're before
Yeah.
the age of 25 and you do none of those things, get out of my life. I don't need it. But and then I've got like the boys that come in as well, like friends that I've known forever. My
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
clientele is all over the shop. I have
No, that's really cool. Like having like that, those varied kind of faces coming in and out. Like it's never kind of stale. Like imagine a lot of barbers. I think it's the type of barbershop that you guys have kind of built for yourself. Like you just between you and Richie as well. You're just like you're just so goddamn friendly. Like going into the shop is just like a nice environment, you know.
yeah.
It's
We
like
tried to
a lot
keep
of
it chill for
barbershops
everyone.
from and like growing up, like when I was younger, I kind of always had like long hair and stuff, so I genuinely always felt really uncomfortable in barbershops.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. It was just like that. I mean, what we were talking about before with like the bullshit masculinity around barbershops versus hairdressers and all that shit. I always felt really uncomfortable in barbershops, but like having a shop like you guys where it's just like such a welcoming, open environment where it's just like absolutely no bullshit here. There's no fucking, we're not judging, there's no judgments in here. You come in, you get your hair cut, we talk some good shit, we watch some wrestling on the TV, and then you fuck off and you pay me, you know? It's
Yeah.
like just that whole environment that you guys have built in the shop is just, it's
I
so
think-
nice.
I think a lot of it for me is because when I was younger, I had long hair too, and I had some
Yeah.
like horrific haircuts, like
Yep.
and thanks. So I think like I take my time and I really think about everything that I'm doing because I've been there, you know. Like you get a shitty haircut and it makes you feel bad for a couple of days. You get over it, but like it does make you feel bad. So I always just want to like make sure that I'm like giving everyone the best haircut I can, even if that is like not a great haircut. As long as I know I've given my all, and they're happy with it, then that's fine. Not to say that I put out shoddy haircuts. I don't. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that, like, the haircut for me is about, I don't know, maybe 70%, 60% of why someone comes back to you. They'll come back to you if they feel like you treat them well, you give them good customer service, you make them feel like they are actually appreciated in the shop. The shop as well is another big part of it. Like, people will come back for that. Like, they like to come into a space that's comfortable and, like you say, like all that, those kind of things. So, like, the haircut's really not the most important thing. Everything else is. Obviously, it's a massive part of why someone will come and visit you in the shop. But I think a lot of it is just human-to-human interaction. I've got a client who I see, I don't know, maybe every 3-4 weeks, maybe.
Right.
And he genuinely, like, whenever I see his name booked in, I get, like, proper happy. Because he's just a fucking stand-up guy. He's a microbiologist.
Nice.
He is just a fucking shitty punk kid who has worked really hard, and like he's spoken in front of like big conferences and all that kind of stuff. He's written papers, had stuff released, and like he comes into the shop, we have like the shitty work banter, and then we just talk about like mid-2000s metalcore, you know. And like I'll always go home that night and I'll be like, fuck, oh, it was so good, like talking about this thing that I've not spoken about in years. And because he's spoken about it like on the bus home, I'm like listening to Finch, or I'm listening to like 18 Visions or something on the way home, because we've spoken about it. And like it just makes me remember like how funny it is. He's a little bit older than us. We put his band on when we played in Glasgow before we went on those 5 days.
All right.
And so when he first came into the shop, I recognised him, and I was like, how do I recognise this guy?
Why do I know you?
Yeah, and then like he sat down, we got talking and all that, and I was like, here, are you in a band? And then he was like, uh-huh. I was like, I'm pretty sure that we played with you. And from that moment, like, all the walls were down, you know? We just, like, properly hit it off, had a proper good laugh that day. He made me laugh, like, tears streaming down my face. He was in the shop last week, just telling me a story about someone else that we know. And I could just imagine this other boy doing everything that he said. Oh my god, it genuinely made me laugh so much. And that's what I like about my job, like, and that's why I like the shop that I work in, because the kind of people that come through are the kind of people I actually want to be associated with, other than the 25 and unders, you know, like I can actually I get on board with that. Or even like, right, so today there was a kid in the shop. He was 11 years old. The last time he came in to get his haircut, he showed me a photo of what's his puss? Timothy Chalamet. And he was like, I want my hair like this. And I was like, at 11 years old, you're cool as fuck. Like, cool, whatever. So he's like grown his hair out. And like, bless him, this kid is like, he's gonna be a heartbreaker for sure. But like,
cool.
He's just he's actually super cool. So he was talking. He was sat. His mum came in and paid for the haircut before he was in the chair, because she had something to go do. He lives round the corner, so it wasn't too bad. So, like, I finished the last haircut. He came over to the chair and he was wearing this t-shirt, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry that my t-shirt's so dirty. I've just been like out playing all day." And I was like, don't worry about it, man. Like,
sick.
It sounds like, yeah, that's exactly what I said. I was like, you're living the life. And then like he sat down and I was like, so what you been up to today then? How come you're so muddy? Like, he just been like rolling in the mud. And he was like, something like that. He's like, I'm trying to like build like a BMX or a mountain bike or something. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I've got this, that, and the next thing. He was telling me like all these things, and I was like, are you even at secondary school yet? He's like, nah, I go there after the summer. And I was like, you're already this cool. Like,
Damn.
I said to him, as I was like finishing, I was like, man, this long hair looks so good on you. Like, it frames your face really well. Like, you look really good with it. And he's like, yeah, man, I just want to keep this long hair rolling. And I was like, who are you? Like, what is
He's
this?
the
If any-
coolest fucking
Yeah,
guy
if-
ever.
anyone else had said this, I'd be like, shut up, like, stop it. But like, this young kid just knows exactly what he wants and who he wants to be, you know? And I think that's like super important.
So at what point do you disregard him because he's under 25?
When he leaves
At
school.
what point do you go,
No, when he leaves school, that's when I'll like, if you leave school and you just become a shitty, like, lazy, like, late teenager, you're a scumbag.
Yeah.
'Cause I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was. A scumbag.
yeah,
Did nothing
maybe
for
that's
years.
what it is. This is just going back to your like self-hatred that you have for yourself. You don't like these 24-year-olds, 23-year-olds because you fucking hated yourself when you were young.
Anyway, that's been about an hour, man, so we should probably like wrap this up or something, right? Yeah.
It's after dark. It's an extended episode this week.
Oh no. Aye, maybe that is a thing. Maybe I see the way that I lived and the way that I got into my job and all that kind of stuff a little bit later than everyone else usually does. And
Mhm.
I don't really want that for anyone else. But when I see people wasting their life or wasting their potential or whatever, like, I'm just kind of like, dude, like, you could actually be out there doing something fun with your life. Like,
Yeah.
even when someone
But-
says to me that they
but-
want to go traveling, I will be like,
Mhm.
go do that traveling, because that's
Go do
not
it.
them being
Yeah.
like, that's them not like being like a shitty scumbag or whatever. They're just like, they know that they have a thing in their mind that they want to do, so they go and do it. And those
Mhm.
people will work hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then they'll be
there's
able
like-
to go away. I just want people to realize their worth and just like capitalize on it early as possible.
That's really nice. That was
It's
a
true.
really nice thing to say. Like,
It's true.
we were just talking about earlier on about us getting like super emotional and stuff, and see, as you were saying that, I could feel the tears coming in the back of my eyes. That was fucking lovely. That was honestly so nice. I want people to know their worth. Oh my god, dude. That
It's
touched me.
true.
That really touched me. I really enjoyed that. Let's please end every episode on a note like that.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to start thinking of like really positive quotes.
Yeah. Oh Christ. But yeah, you're right, this is well over an hour now, so we probably should think about wrapping it up. But that was a really nice way to end this podcast, and this is probably now my favourite podcast that we've ever done, because that was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it was good fun.
That was very good. Right, I'll do the wrap up things that I usually do. Thank you everyone for listening. This has been episode 6 of Dairy and Friends. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please follow us on Instagram, comment on any of the posts we do, join in the conversation. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think I'm covering everything, to be honest. I'm just going to say cheerio and go my fucking bed, man.
Yep, that's just about it. Cool. I'll speak
That's
to
the best
you
of life.
another time. Love you. Bye.
Love you too, man. Bye bye.